And we are moments away here from the tip-off here at the Arc Arena. The Lehman Lightning today, coached by head coach Eric Harrison, and definitely led on the floor by their leading scorer, number 5, Linda Fields, starting tonight, senior out of Bronx, New York. Averaging over 16.5 points a game, Joe, and I think you're going to have to find a way to slow her down in the early going. Quick and shifty for the point guard position.
Yeah, Dave, first and foremost, this is a huge rivalry between Baruch and Lehman, has been over the years. Some epic battles. Coach Harrison versus the Baruch Bearcats. So there's a lot of history, but once again, no matter who's on the court, if Baruch stays in their good defensive positions on a rebound, if they find their man, Barrett's great at that, the board's great at that, Spayu's great at that, really play good defense, get off to a good start. And what I mean by get off to a good start is when Daniela Arias is up top whipping the ball, look to get Shannon Barrett in stride for a wing shot. I like to see Arias, if she doesn't have anything, be patient, put it on the floor, get in the lane. And Melinda Spayu, when she gives you that little ball or up fake, boom, she's to the basket. The keys for Baruch, make shots. You've shown that you can get to the basket, but you have to finish.
And Linda Fields joined on this Lehman team tonight by number 4, Aaliyah Dorsett, number 11, Ayana Behagen, number 13, Lisa Fields, and number 42, Selena Lopez. And for your Baruch Bearcats, a little change in the lineup today as Lisette DeBoard is coming off the bench this evening. And we're going to see Maria Marianthopoulos into the starting lineup. Joe, what do you think Marianthopoulos gives Baruch maybe right off the gate rather than coming off the bench?
She plays with a scrappy style, and she can knock down shots, particularly the three.
And Marianthopoulos is joined by number 15, Melinda Spayu, number 20, Samira Ahmed, number 14, Daniela Arias, and, of course, captain number 31, Shannon Barrett. Tonight, the Lehman Lightning will be in their road blues with the gold stripes on the side, and your Baruch will be on your home whites with your light blue going left to right here in the first half. It's going to be Aaliyah Dorsett for Lehman and Shannon Barrett for Baruch on the opening tip. And, Joe, what I've noticed is Lehman able to bring a little size into this contest. Currently, 5 players over 5'10", 4 over 5'11".
Yeah, Baruch has had problems with teams with size before, but the way you do that is get in front of the man, especially on the defensive side, and use your legs, use leverage.
And Baruch moving the ball now around the offensive end as Marianthopoulos has it in the corner, up top to Arias.
So it's a good start that Arias is up top, and again, really gets the ball moving when she's there.
Pull-up jumper from Arias. Just off right rim, rebounded by number 42, Lopez for Lehman.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Daniela put the ball down and get in the lane and get a better shot.
Fields has it now, gives it to Fields. Lopez has it in the paint, up top to Fields.
Good defense.
Three-pointers no good, and rebounded by Baruch.
Good defense by Arias. Put a hand in just at the right moment.
Ooh, dangerous cross, full court pass by Spayu, gets to Ahmed. Bobble, now the ball's loose, and Spayu's on the floor. She gets tangled up with Behagen for Lehman, and it's going to go back to Lehman due to the possession arrow. So a little dangerous pass there. It ended up in a turnover for Baruch.
Yeah, sometimes Ahmed will be a little flashy with the dribble. She needs to do less dribbling and more moving around so Arias can find her in a good position to shoot.
Now Lopez has it inside for Lehman. Her right-handed layup off rim, no good. Rebounded by Barrett, and Baruch will push into the offensive end. Arias has it in the lane, goes hard into the paint. It's going to go off Lehman last, and will stay with Baruch.
One of the keys, Dave, again, to the start of the game is that Samir Ahmed get off to a good start here offensively.
Now, Marianthopoulos gets the inbound, quickly swung around to Barrett. Barrett straight away left corner three. Left wing three, no good. And it's rebounded by Lisa Fields. She goes right into the paint. A little give and go, but that's stolen by Melinda Spayu, averaging 3 steals on the season.
That's what Spayu does for you.
Nice inside to Spayu, trying to bounce it inside to Arias. Goes off a leg, it looks like, as Ahmed tries to dive it to save it. And it's going to go back to Lehman. So some sloppy play here in the early going by Baruch.
I think both teams are trying to get into some type of rhythm.
And Lisa Fields will bring it into the front court. Gives it off to Linda Fields. Swung around. Lopez pull up free throw line jumper. No good. Rebounded by Baruch, and Shannon Barrett will push it into the front court. Gives it off to Arias in the corner. Now Spayu, left wing three. She takes it. Doesn't hit anything. It's going to be rebounded by Fields for Lehman, and they're going to quickly push into the front court. She's trying to survey her options. Instead, hands it off to Dorsett. Gives it inside to Lopez as two Baruch players hit the deck, and Shannon Barrett is down as her and Melinda Spayu have collided underneath the basket.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate play because two Baruch defenders went down, leaving an open lane.
Unsure what really happened right there. We were kind of following the ball. It looked like Barrett coming up holding her nose area and Melinda Spayu kind of limping away as if she hit her knee. So I wonder when Barrett fell, maybe she hit her into Spayu's leg.
Sometimes it's like trying to move in the dark. You don't know where you are. But the tempo, Dave, looks like it's up-tempo. Both teams, moving the ball. A lot of players moving around. That's a good sign instead of standing around.
So Shannon Barrett had to check out due to the injury, but she's already back at the scorer's table waiting to check in as Lisette DeBoard will get a few minutes. And Danielle Arias is fouled by number 5, Linda Fields.
One thing I like about the maturation of Daniela Arias is that she's very confident out there. Earlier in the season, it was a different kind of mentality. She looks like she really wants to be a leader.
Now Barrett catches inside the soft kick corner jumper by Ahmed, knocks it down, and nice to see her getting her rhythm early after struggling from the field last game.
Yeah, that's part of the attack of Baruch. Ahmed, the third option offensively, getting going in the first half.
Fields now will drive baseline. Gives it up top to Dorsett. Dorsett working inside, and she's stripped by Barrett. Dorsett wanted a foul, but Barrett comes away with it and pushes it into the front court. Ahmed in the corner. She's going to drive on Fields, trying to give it back to Barrett. Instead, it was Spayu getting the loose ball. She's fouled, and the Baruch will be able to inbound the ball underneath. And 2 quick fouls here from Lehman College in the early going.
Yeah, Baruch got very lucky because an errant pass by Ahmed, and Baruch came away with the ball. Spayu came away with the ball.
Now Spayu has it up top for the Bearcats. Swung around to Barrett. Barrett trying to give a give and go back inside to Spayu. Telegraphed the pass a little too much, and then the Lehman comes away with it as Fields has it in the front court. Nice play by Fields, able to go into Shannon Barrett and finish at the rim. And she's going to go to the line for an old school three-point play and a chance to extend the lead to 3. 4-2 currently with 7:10 remaining here in the first.
Yeah, what happened there, Dave, is Shannon Barrett decided not to play defense but to kind of ride the offensive player getting a foul caution. If she would have stayed down, it would have been a good defensive play.
And a nice finish there by Fields.
Fields looked like a really active player for Lehman.
Up top now, Barrett. 3-ball way off.
Dave, we have a famous name for Lehman, Behagen. Ron Behagen was a storied ball player out of the New York area, went to the University of Minnesota. Wonder if there's a relation.
Didn't have much time to talk with the team before we came into the building today. That is an interesting observation there. As the shot by Behagen is actually off, and the rebound twice by Lopez. Now she hits the deck, kicks it outside the Fields for a corner 3. No good. Rebounded by Lopez, though, and Lehman getting second opportunities here early. Behagen outside the Fields. Fields swings it out to Fields.
Fields, similar to Arias for Baruch, looks like a good up-top floor general for Lehman. Gets the ball to people in a hurry, barking out orders.
And Lehman will inbound underneath. It's Fields inside to Dorsett. It's no good, around and out, and the board comes away with the rebound. She recently just checked into the game. Spayu has it now, gets the pass into the paint, finds the board, trying to give it back to Spayu, and a lot of dangerous passes back into the middle of the paint for Baruch.
Yeah, Spayu needed to take that shot. She really was in close. That was a very tough pass.
And if anything, the board definitely has to just go up with it and not try to find the give and go with Spayu.
Yeah, the board looks to pass first, Dave. So, once she gets the ball, she's not looking to shoot.
Behagen has it now, gives it up top to corner 3 by Fields, It's off, but the rebound again by Lehman. Another offensive board, and Fields is able to go off glass and finish. And Coach Kellyanne Barrett wants a timeout for Baruch Only 2 points here in the first 4 minutes and 7 seconds, so Baruch trails 7-2 in the early going. You're watching Baruch Basketball YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
Yeah, Dave, the Baruch defensively on a couple of possessions has been watching versus getting in a defensive stance and defending. And watching sometimes, leads to baskets, easy baskets.
Too many costly turnovers here in the early going, Joe. Baruch turning it over a few times already and just giving 4 turnovers already here in the first 4 minutes and just giving Lehman a bunch of opportunity.
Well, some of the turnovers by Baruch have been uncertainty. Instead of making a good pass, they're throwing it to traffic or giving it to the players that are not going to take a shot. They're going to pass it back.
A nice move there by Spio to get into the lane, but Lehman's able to tip it away, and it'll stay with Baruch underneath. Coach Harrison calling out the offense for the Lehman Lightning. Spio to inbound. Arias just checking back into the game. Ahmed now has it. She throws it right into the hands of Fields for Lehman, who tries to give it off to Fields. And it's an errant pass, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll go back to Baruch.
Yeah, I see Ahmed is she's saying to Coach Barrett, it's on me, it's on me. Just take your time. It's early in the game, get into a rhythm, but be careful. Protect that ball like it's a little baby.
Nice play there by Spio, a little double clutch layup, and able to finish at the rim, 7-4, Baruch trail.
Yeah, Spio, good body control.
Ball is quickly swung side to side by Fields, now inside to Lopez. Lopez, nice spin move, able to finish.
That's a real quality post move by Lopez. Hard to defend.
Now Spio gets it. Some dangerous passing here by Baruch. Hand off to Barrett. Almost turned over. Now Arias, she's going to drive baseline. Gives it back to Barrett. Barrett's pull-up elbow jumper. Able to knock it down. Nice play there from Arias to Barrett.
That's a familiar 1-2 punch, Arias to Barrett. And I love, again, that, Arias was looking for her, even though she was down low and deep.
And a turnover there by Lehman, as I think it's going to go off Lopez last. And now Lilybeth Garcia, a guard, checks into the game for Lehman Lightning.
This is a good time, Dave, for Baruch to go on a run now. They've been really, the car hasn't turned over, but this is a good time. 9-6.
And just as you say that, Baruch turned it over again, their 5th turnover of the of the quarter. And unforced error is going to cost you all night, especially with a team like Lehman who could come out and score some points.
Yeah, we always mention in the pregame or before the game that Baruch has to really be careful of turnovers. That's one of the keys to victory.
Lehman scoring 72 points per game, whereas Baruch right now only averaging 54 points per game, so it's going to be tough if you keep giving these possessions back to Lehman.
Yeah, we're in January, and Christmas was, a month and change ago, so no more gift giving.
Dorsett knocks down the first, and she knocks down the second, 2 of 2 from the line, 11-6. Baruch trail with 4:32 remaining here in the first. Ahmed has it now, and that's going to be a travel.
Dave, I think that Daniela Arias or Shannon Barrett has to call over their teammate, Samir Ahmed, and say, listen, calm down. You're a good player. We need you. She's a little out of control now.
Now Fields drives baseline, gives it out to Garcia. Jumper too strong, goes off back rim, and once again, Ahmed feeling some pressure in the trap, dribbling a little too much, and she splits the D. Now Barrett has it in the front court. She drives, trying to give it inside to the board, and the foul is going to be on I think it's going to be on Shannon Barrett. It's going to be a charge, and the ball is going to go back to Lehman. Another unforced error right there, and another turnover by Baruch.
When you get in that deep, sometimes, you're going to run into another player. That's what Barrett did. Barrett needs to be patient, give it off to one of your lead guards, and run a play.
So Fields will bring it into the front court for Baruch. Now Garcia has it left wing. Swinging around, give it inside to Dorsett. Dorsett all the way back around to Fields. Behagen in the paint. Gives it off to Dorsett. Too strong. Rebounded there by Barrett. And she's going to push, looking for the outlet pass, but that's intercepted by Fields. And once again, another turnover by Baruch. And nice play there by Arias to try to come steal it from behind. Lehman's able to hold on to it, and it's going to go off Baruch last, as Lehman will have it on the far side, and Selena Lopez quick to check back in for Baruch as Aaliyah Dorsett comes to the bench. Garcia has it. She's covered by Ahmed. Cross-court pass to Fields. Corner three, no good. A little strong. Arias and Barrett come together for the rebound. It'll be Arias that comes away with the ball. Arias picked up by Behagan. And now she steals the ball from Spayu and then is fouled by Spayu. Nice play there by Ayana Behagan.
Well, Dave, what Spayu did is she turned her head and left the ball open for that steal. I don't know what's happening there, but Baruch looks like that, their concentration level is not there yet. It's early, but with Ahmed and Spayu and some of the errant passes, concentration seems to be not there yet.
And this sends Behagan to the line. She knocks down the first, and also important to note, Lehman already in the bonus as Baruch has committed 5 fouls in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, the turnovers, the fouls, the lack of concentration. It's almost like you want to ask the referee, can we start over again?
Definitely not a winning formula. Now Arias will drive. Right hand, able to go off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Barrett, though. She puts it back up and finishes. Nice hustle play there. And compared to some of the, I'd say, previous 2 or 3 games that we've done, it's nice to see Barrett more in the paint.
Yeah, Barrett has really got to be active. Arias got in as close as you can, but did not finish. That's been a problem for the Baruch attack most games, not finishing.
Left corner three by Garcia, no good. And Spayu's going to push, tries to give it to Ahmed, who just gets spun around, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that was definitely a concentration problem.
How are we going to do the halftime thing? The mics won't ring. The ball swung around. Garcia has it now inside to Lopez. Lopez working on Barrett in the paint. Nice spin move there by Lopez. Can't finish, though. Yeah. Able to find her space, though. And very nice post moves by Selena Lopez.
Yeah, Baruch got busy. Oh, another lack of concentration leads to a Lehman steal.
Nice play there by Behagan. I think that's twice in 3 possessions we've called her name on the defensive end. Now Arias gives it to Spayu. Spayu's quickly doubled. And it's going to go out of bounds off Spayu last, and it'll go back to Lehman, and a lot of unforced errors here in the first quarter for Baruch.
Yeah, players turning away. The ball is vulnerable.
Now Lehman have it in the front court with Fields. Ball swung around. Garcia, corner three, no good. Rebounded, knocked around, and it's going to go off of Lehman last. Very interesting. I thought it went off Shannon Barrett last, but it's going to go back to Baruch.
David, just a defensive note for Baruch. They're going to have to front Lopez, deny her the ball, because if she gets comfortable and goes to work, could be a big night for her.
And another dangerous play there, and it's a turnover again for Baruch as they've been trying to find Ahmed, and I don't know if that's something Lehman has focused on, really forcing the ball into Samira Ahmed's hands when Baruch's trying to break down the full court press. And a nice jumper there. Knocks it down to number 4, Aaliyah Dorsett.
Yeah, Ahmed is not here mentally yet.
And Arias have to quickly push into the front court, gives it off to Barrett. Now it's Ahmed, baseline jumper, no good. Rebounded, though, again by Barrett. She hits the deck, and it's going to be a jump ball, and it's going to stay with Baruch. So nice hustle play there by Barrett. But once again, I saw Ahmed, one of the first people down the court, not definitely trying to stay out of the way, and maybe this is affecting her confidence a little bit here in the first.
Yeah, but wow, how valuable is Shannon Barrett, cleaning up the glass and keeping the possession alive.
Arias up top to Spayu now as Emma Price checks into the game for Baruch, number 4. Spayu's fouled, and it's going to be off ball. The foul's going to be on number 30, Adiba Chima.
I think Daniela Arias and Barrett have got to really come together and ignite the Bearcats at this point in the game.
Arias to inbound, gives it off to Spayu in the corner. Emma Price up top, swung around. It's Marianthopoulos. Arias now in the corner. Corner 3 by Arias, off back rim, no good, and Lehman are going to break. It's going to be Garcia. Oh, ball goes off her hands, and she has to corral it and spin around. And then she turns it over as now Spayu and Arias hit the deck. And that's going to be a traveling call on Daniela Arias as she was on the floor. I think she tried to get back up. I'm not 100% sure right there. And it'll be Lehman's ball underneath. With 54.7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, Baruch trails 17-8. Lopez gets the ball in the paint.
But Arias was really hustling. She did as much as she can on that last possession.
Nice play there by Baruch as the offensive fouls there by Selena Lopez.
They stopped Lopez, who wanted to go to a spin move. Really good defense by Baruch.
That ball's almost thrown away by Baruch. Dangerous play. Emma Price, her layup's good. Nice play there. As it was Papadopoulos to Price for the layup. And once again, the Lehman half full court trap giving Baruch some headaches.
Yeah, let's see if Price can contribute tonight off the bench.
And another turnover there by Lehman, and Baruch have a chance to hold for the final possession. And Arias will have it now. Price pass almost tipped there. Swung around. Now it's going to be Barrett for a three. Able to knock it down. Nice shot there by Shannon Barrett. Quick 5-0 run by Baruch. Makes it 17-13. Now Lehman has a chance at the last possession.
Yeah, credit Spayu for that pass.
Oh, nice shot there by Garcia to quiet the crowd down. And now Baruch trying to go coast to coast. 2 seconds left. 1 second left. No good, and that'll do it for the first. Nice play there by Lilibeth Garcia to knock down a nice three, and her stroke, while it has not been hitting early on, has been looking good in a couple close opportunities, and she got that one to fall. So after one, Baruch trail 20-13. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
And welcome back, almost at the start of the second quarter. Baruch currently 4-7 in the conference, 4-12 overall, facing a Lehman College team that is 8-4. So Baruch a game and a half above York. Unfortunately, 3.5 behind Lehman, but just trying to right now holding on to that 6th seed in the conference.
Well, Dave, really to summarize the first quarter very quickly: turnovers, turnovers, turnovers. Errant passes, lack of concentration. Baruch went on that little run, but Lehman answered right before the end of the first quarter. So let's see how things start out here in the second.
15 turnovers for Baruch in the first quarter. First quarter alone. So it's not a winning formula if you're the Bearcats. And Lehman's shot is off there as Shannon Barrett comes away with the rebound. Arias into the front court. Gives it off to Spayu. Shot no good. Emma Price gets the ball as it's tipped around in the paint, and now comes away with Lehman as Fields gets it for the Lightning. Shot no good. Tipped away. Arias tries to save it, and it'll stay with Lehman underneath.
Baruch is going to have to really notice that Lehman kind of free will in terms of their shot selection. So Baruch is really going to have to locate men and box them out.
And a turnover. Oh, no, it's going to be a foul. Excuse me. I thought she stepped on the baseline, but it's going to be a foul. Foul's on number. Foul's going to be on number 15, excuse me, Melinda Spayu. My apologies there. As Lilibeth Garcia knocks down her second shot. 5 points on the evening for her, and she's off to a strong start.
Yeah, she's had like a momentum starting kind of effect.
And another turnover there by Baruch, their 16th of the game. So far, more turnovers than points this evening.
Yeah. Baruch is just giving the ball away, and they don't want to settle into any offense.
And credit to the Lehman trap, the full court trap that's been really forcing some turnovers as Baruch forced their own right there. And Spayu comes away with the ball, and she'll bring it into the front court. Picked up by Dorsett, trying to bounce it inside to Papadopoulos, and once again thrown away, and it's going to go back to Lehman as foul on Spyu again. That's going to be her third, and she's already in foul trouble here early in the second, as she's going to have to come to the bench with Ahmed checking back in.
Spyu, her decision-making against, let's give her some credit. She's a freshman, and hopefully, she's still maturing, so hopefully somebody goes over to her on the bench and just puts his hands on her and says, okay, let's go. We need you.
Now Garcia has it, gives it up top to Fields. Behagan now outside to Fields. Corner three, no good. Rebounded by Dorsett, though, and the Lightning can reset up. Oh, now it's inside the Dorsett again, and that's going to be a 3-second violation on Dorsett, so the ball will go back to Baruch. And just when the Lightning are trying to really get a run going, they kind of make an unforced error themselves, and it'll give the ball back to Baruch.
This would be a great time for a little run by Baruch to open up the second quarter.
Nice shot there by Shannon Barrett, able to knock down that elbow jumper, and Coach Harrison wants a timeout for the Lehman Lightning. So with 8:15 remaining, Baruch 15, Lehman 22. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And if you're Coach Barrett, I mean, you have to be very frustrated so far about the turnovers here in the early going.
Yeah, but I think, Dave, what happened is some games that players have some type of concentration level, and sometimes it takes them a quarter or two to get going. In case in point, Samir Ahmed recently, she didn't get going until middle of the second half in a recent game. But when your whole team has not come out, to play, that's a problem. But here's where your leaders come in, Barrett, Arias, and we want to say Spyu's a leader. And Coach Barrett's really going to have to dig in to get leadership to get them out of this funk.
Now Garcia has it, gives it off to Dorsett in the corner, trying to find Behagan underneath, but the ball is quickly swung around to Fields. Now Dorsett has it, back up top to Fields. Fields will drive, past two defenders. Nice floater off back rim and in. Nice shot there by number 5, Linda Fields.
Yeah, Baruch was watching again instead of getting into a defensive position.
Nice play there by Arias as she's fouled and will go to the line for an and one.
That's a good sign that Arias got to the finish and finished. She got to the basket. She does that so well, and it's great to see her finish.
Fouls again on number 5, Linda Fields. So make a nice play on one end and then create a potential and one on the other. And Arias' free throw is no good as Garcia comes away with the rebound for Lehman.
So far in the second quarter, Barrett and Arias making shots.
Nice play there by Behagan to get past Shannon Barrett and able to finish with the left hand, and the full court press again coming from Lehman.
Too easy for Lehman. Baruch, no defensive pressure.
Ahmed's three able to, it's only going to be a 2. And she knocks it down, 26-19 Lehman lead.
Okay, so Baruch, their offensive players are awakening.
Garcia has it now, working on Ahmed. Gives it up top to Fields, almost bounces off her hand, almost away, but she's able to corral it. Now cross-court pass to Fields. Gives it inside to Behagan. Nice finish with the left hand, and Baruch really have no answer right now for some of these ladies underneath the basket.
Yeah, it's a Swiss cheese defense for Baruch.
And another unforced error there by Papadopoulos, my apologies, in the corner as Baruch turned it over. It'll go back to Lehman with 6:41 remaining here in the game clock.
Baruch defensively, Dave, is at its best when hands and feet are moving. Only Arias up top is doing that. You have to have that interior deterrent situation going on. Hands and feet have to be moving. Don't let people in front of you cut down lanes.
When Fields drives, and it's an offensive foul. Nice play there by Barrett. Let Fields hit her right in the chest and hit the floor, and it's going back to Baruch, who currently trail by 9, 6:20 remaining.
Yeah, very good defensive possession because Baruch put up a fence there.
And Papadopoulos comes to the bench as Marianthopoulos checks back in. Arias has it now, gives it off to Marianthopoulos. Back to Arias. Ball moves around the perimeter. Barrett currently occupying that soft spot of the zone, unable to find a passing lane, though, as Arias' three is way off. And it'll go back to Lehman.
Yeah, Arias should be shooting as a second option. She should put the ball down on the floor and does what she does very well, get in the lane.
A nice play there by Arias to tip away the pass. It goes out of bounds off of her. So Lehman will inbound underneath with 5:50 remaining here in the second quarter. Now Behagen has it for Lehman. Gives it off to Fields, who will set up the offense. Now to Garcia, back to Fields. Fields takes one dribble into the free throw line jumper, and she's able to knock it down. Nice play there by Linda Fields.
Fields a similar kind of player to Arias. One dribble and she can get in the lane.
Price has it now. The ball swung around the perimeter inside to Barrett. Gives it outside to Ahmed. Baseline jumper. It looks like it was tipped there. And it was by Aaliyah Dorsett as Garcia comes into, as Behagen comes into the zone. Three by Fields, no good. Rebounded by Garcia, tries to save it, but instead her foot was on the end line, and it'll go out of bounds back to Baruch.
Yeah, Baruch needs to get into a rhythm right now. Down 30-19, 5:08 remaining. Game, it's still a game, but you got to get into a rhythm, and you got to work off that rhythm.
Now Arias has it, gives it up top to Barrett, swung around to Marion Thopoulos. Now free throw line jumper by Arias is good, able to knock it down with 4:50 remaining. Baruch trailed by 9 again.
Yeah, that was good teamwork. Teammates finding each other. Arias found the hole in the lane.
Free throw line jumper, by Behagen's no good. Rebounded by Barrett, and Baruch will push. And Barrett will circle back and slow it up. Oh, no, she goes right back into the lane. Elbow jumper, no good, but she's hit on the wrist, and that'll send her to the line to shoot 2.
Barrett got lucky there because it was not a high percentage shot.
Foul number 11, Ayanna Behagen. That's her first, team's third.
And Barrett knocks down the first, leading the team this year in free throw per shooting at a 74% rate.
Yeah, her shots are always around the rim.
Now off on the second as Lopez comes away with the rebound for Lehman. Fields has it up top and will call out the offense. Now Dorsett, right wing jumper, and able to knock it down. Nice shot there by Dorsett to find some space and hit the open jumper.
Yeah, good possession by Lehman, just working the ball around.
Marion Thopoulos has it, gives it up top to Barrett. Baruch moving the ball nicely in the offensive end here. It's Ahmed, almost turns it over. Price up to Barrett. Barrett straight away 3. Oh, wide right. Price tips it away, and it goes out of bounds. And it looked like she had an opportunity to really grasp that rebound. Instead, she tried to bat it out to one of her teammates.
Yeah, Price is a freshman. These games are now learning experience for her. She's learning on the job. And hopefully she turns into a Spy-U, the board kind of player. Hustle.
Now, Dorsett has it, gives it inside to Behagen. Behagen's going to drive past Arias, kicks it outside to Garcia. Left wing 3, no good. Rebounded by, it's fought for, and it's going to go off of Dorsett last as Price was there for Baruch as well. As Lisette DeBoard is coming off the bench to check in for the Bearcats.
Yeah, hustle play by Price. I don't think Coach Barrett wants her to light it up. I think she wants just a little of everything from Price.
And now Arias has it on the half court for Baruch, covered by Dorsett. Barrett having a nice mismatch there against Fields. I'd like to see Barrett get the ball back there. And that's going to be a 3-second call against Ahmed. And Ahmed just having a rough game from the start here.
Yeah, Ahmed again, she's just going to, it's going to take longer tonight for her to settle down. Again, these are some games people just have a little bit longer time to get going.
And Dorsett travels right there, so Baruch have a chance to cut the lead to single digits.
Dave, it's a 10-point deficit for Baruch. There's 3 minutes left. They have to start mounting some sort of attack, especially going into the locker room.
Right, and you're saying, you know, Ahmed needs a little time to get going. They might not have the luxury of having time to get her going as Arias is able to hit that floater.
One of the things we pointed out earlier was Barron and Arias are going to have to ignite this attack. You know, certain games you're going to need two of your leaders to make it happen. Arias should hit that shot.
Now Behagan inside, gives it off to Lopez. It's going to be an offensive foul. Nice play there by Barrett as Behagan gave off the pass, trucking Barrett. And Barrett, I think that's the third charge she's taken in the half.
She's excellent. That's old school. The willingness to take a charge. That's old school. You don't see that a lot in today's game.
And if anyone's willing to hit the deck, it's number 31, Shannon Barrett. She does it on a regular basis for our new watchers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get a T-shirt made, hit the deck with her picture on it, start giving them out at games.
That may be her slogan. And Shannon Barrett, straightaway jumper, no good. Ball's tipped away. I think Price had her hand on it, but it gets tipped right to the hands of Dorsett. And Lehman are going to push. Fields has it now, right corner. Gives it up top to Garcia has it now. Left wing three, no good. Rebounded by Fields, and she's fouled. Won't go to the line. And sloppy play there because the smaller Fields able to out-rebound Shannon Barrett on a three that was way off for Lehman.
Nobody on the Baruch interior defense saw Fields sneaking in, and that's a cardinal sin. You got to really cover those particular areas on the court. Big possession for Baruch. They had a chance to cut it down to 6 points possibly, and hopefully, you know, they can get the ball on this. Hopefully a miss.
And on that possession, it wasn't like Lehman moved the ball that much, so Baruch's zone should probably not have been out of shape too much, and there should have been the weak side defender there to close out on the boards. It seemed like it was only Barrett who plays the center position in the zone.
Yeah, Barrett and her two side mates have to be there for that area.
Arias straight into the lane, able to finish with the right hand, right over Garcia. And, Joe, what you were mentioning before, you want to see Arias take it to the lane, and she's been highly successful there tonight.
Yeah, her and Barrett have got to really take over when all else fails.
Now Dorsett inside, nice play there. Just able to find that space, and without Barrett on the court, you're going to find a little bit of a mismatch in the paint.
That's happened repeatedly. Lehman's been able to find holes. We want to point out the interior defense of Baruch.
Arias going to drive, gives it out to DeBoard. DeBoard's baseline jumper, able to knock it down. Nice way for DeBoard to set herself, and we've seen it in other games past. When she gets to set herself, she's able to really knock down some jumpers.
It's nice to see Lisette DeBoard make shots because she's really an energy player. So that's really a plus when she makes shots.
And Fields off on the three there, and Coach Harrison still wants an explanation from the ref how that wasn't a charge. And I think he might have some a rightful gripe, as it looked like his players just got bowled over by Arias on that last Baruch possession. Now Arias has it up top. Trying to take a pick from Price, uses it, now gets a pick from Marianthopoulos. Deep three from Arias. No good. Marianthopoulos fights for the rebound but loses it. You want to see her attack the glass a little bit more as the bounce pass by Dorsett is kicked away.
Smart play by Arias to stop a little bit of a break there. Coach Barrett's got to be very happy that it's now just a 6-point deficit. You're right in the game. Let's go into the halftime locker room on a little run.
But on the other side of it, this should easily be Baruch's lead with just the way they've been turning the ball over tonight. Already up to 19 turnovers here in the first half.
Lucky to be down 6 after, kind of a tough start with giving gifts out.
But if you cut those turnovers numbers in half, Joe, you could easily be up maybe 6 yourself.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something to think about. 6 at the minimum. Something to think about at half.
Just another turnover while we were chatting.
Make it their 20th of the night as 33 seconds left now here in the half, and Lehman moving the ball around. 15 seconds left here on the shot clock. Fields swings it around to Garcia, now back up to Fields. Really wasting the clock here as Fields now drives. Nice step around move, and it's going to be a travel. The basket's not going to count. Nice move there by Fields, but too many steps, and it'll go back to Baruch with 21 and a half seconds remaining.
Yeah, Baruch got lucky because, again, there was an opening in the middle for Field.
Arias has it up top, gives it off to Ahmed, almost thrown away. Ahmed's going to drive. Oh, nice play there as she tried to go with the right hand. Oh, so close to finishing, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2. The foul's going to be on number 4, Aaliyah Dorset.
That was the play of the game for Ahmed. That was her first solid offensive play.
She went strong that time. It's nice to see. And Ahmed knocks down the first.
Coach Harrison is probably going to really have a conversation with his Lehman team that, you let a team hang around.
What was once 12 points is now only 4. Garcia's 3 way off. Rebound saved by the board. Nice play there. And that'll do it for the first half.
The score at the half, the Lightning of Lehman College 34, the Bearcats of Baruch College 30. 15-minute intermission.
And Coach Barrett doing a little one-on-one coaching here with the board, but that'll do it.
The board, she did all she can on that play.
Yeah, nice job there by Baruch to really get back into this thing with, now cutting the deficit to 4, which was once 12. So at the halftime, Baruch 30, Lehman College 34. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
And welcome to the Halftime Report alongside Joe Stolzer. I'm David Just. And Joe, only a 4-point game at half. What looked like it was going to get ugly here in the first quarter has turned into a nice game by Baruch as they were able to outscore Lehman 17-14 in that half after a slow start for the Bearcats.
Yeah, once Baruch made an effort to tighten up defensively, they made it more difficult for Lehman. And then offensively, it's interesting that Ahmed has a little turnover problem, but that's just like a concentration. And Shannon Barrett has turned the ball over, I believe, 5 times. But her turnovers are really a lot of energy kind of thing. They're not just like errant, concentration laps. But all in all, I think we talked about it that if Arias and Barrett kind of decide to put their foot on the gas pedal, the Baruch attack will go, and that's why it's a 4-point deficit, and they're not down double figures.
Something Lehman did early on, and I think Baruch kind of, had trouble with it in the first quarter, but really grasped it in the second, was the full court trap. Lehman caused a lot of their turnovers, including 15 in the first quarter, compared to only 5 here in the second. How do you think Baruch's really turned it around and able to break down that trap a little bit more?
Yeah, because they decided to focus on dribbling as deep into the offensive areas they could and make safer passes. A couple of times Arias and Barrett and Ahmed just threw the ball to areas where Lehman was able to step in. They just threw it in traffic. But they got better at that and, brought it into the front court and then got into a flow. This really is correcting your mistakes. In life, try and limit your mistakes in a day and you'll be okay. I think right now Coach Barrett has got to play on the positive. Okay, we had a kind of suspect first half, but we're down 4, that's the bottom line. Because really, Dave, the scoreboard tells a story no matter how you played. You played great, played not. It's 4 points. Anybody's game now. We talk about the first 5 minutes of the second half. They're huge. If you come out and you do good things, that can really dictate what's going to happen the rest of the half.
And 45% shooting there for Baruch in the first half, and we've seen it in some previous games. That's been one of their woes, shooting around 31% for the season. So able to really get the ball inside and not settling for the three as much. Only granted 8 times, but 13 of 29 from the field.
Yeah, Ahmed made a strong move late in the half on the right side. You know, she kind of like a running back, just follow her blocker into the hole. Arias has made shots in close. Barrett, a little bit of. I still think we're going to see more of Barrett. She hasn't really got going yet. No, she's a rhythm player. Arias is a rhythm player.
And that's how you know how good Barrett is, because when you say she hasn't got going, she had 10 and 9 in the first half, and yet we're expecting a lot more out of her in the second. But rightfully so, because she's earned those expectations.
Right. Baruch is taking on an identity of rhythm players. Even Spayu is a freshman. She's a rhythm player. When she puts the ball down, goes to the basket, and finishes, you know, you better really defend her. Arias is showing that. DeBoard made a shot, and that's a great thing because she needs to get rewarded for her constant hustle. Price, freshman, you know, learning things out there. But I really think that this is all good for Baruch, for Lehman. Coach Harrison has got to say you can't let an opponent hang around, no matter who they are, because, you know, that anything can happen. And but I like, as far as Lehman is concerned, that they do have from Lopez is great spin move, hard to defend. Fields, Behagen, they have some capable players. But Baruch easily knows about these capable players. Just don't have the greatest defensive game in history. Just play defense.
And Behagen at 5'7" has really been able to get into the lane and create some opportunities for herself and really create some scoring chances for this Lehman College Lightning.
But that was made possible because Baruch on a number of occasions turned their back, turned their body, and you can't do that. You have to face the offensive player and stay in front of them. So this is, you know, again, we said we don't, you know, about gift giving. A lot of the points, 34 points for Lehman, were gifts in the first half by Baruch.
So right now, Shannon Barrett, 10 points, 9 boards. Melinda Spayu, 2 points, 2 boards, 3 big assists, but both of them right now working on 3 fouls.
Yeah, so those players are going to have to be careful. And but with Spayu, some of her fouls are based on her hustling and energy. So, you know, that's a good and bad situation. Barrett also hustle and energy, always going down to the floor. So it's kind of bittersweet, Dave, with the foul situation. But you just want to play smart. Try and not foul if you can. At the same time, defend.
So, yeah, at half with about 7.5 minutes remaining before the start of the second, Baruch trail right now 34-30. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break to bring you more halftime report and second half action.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
And welcome back to the Baruch Halftime Report. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesday, February 6th, our next home broadcast. We have a big doubleheader against Brooklyn College. Currently in the women's side, number 2 in the conference. Currently in the men's side, number 6 in the conference. So great opportunity for Baruch to come out and play on their home floor. And also February 8th, a big game as well. February 8th, it's going to be the Battle of Lexington. The place will be rocking here at the Arc Arena. If you're on campus, I stress the importance of coming out and making some noise for Baruch. The whole gym will be filled. And that's against Hunter College, who right now one of the better teams in the conference, with Baruch, just the men's team, only 2 games above Hunter, and the women's team looking up at Hunter, trying to catch them, as that potentially will be their first round matchup if standings stay the same. Alongside Joe Stolzer, I'll welcome him back now, Joe, and it's been a great game so far. Baruch really down 12, but able to come back and make it 4 with being 34-30 here with about 4 minutes remaining before the start of the second half.
Yeah, I really look forward to the second half, Dave, to see which Baruch team comes out of the locker room. Is it the Baruch team with a good, solid defense, Arias hands and feet moving up top, with Spyu's hands and feet moving up top, the interior defense facing and looking at the opponents and finding men and boxing out. And on offense, Arias at the top, swinging the ball, trying to get Shannon Barrett in stride to maybe a knockdown of 3 from the wing. And Ahmed coming out and getting into an offensive flow. Belinda Spyu putting a ball on the floor, trying to get to the basket and finishing. So, you know, it's really the same script, Dave, as all games for Baruch. Because, again, the characters are there for the storyline. Now, we do have to point out the little foul situation. Spyu with 3, Barrett with 3. So you want those people in the game. So I'm sure Coach Barrett said, be careful. You know, try not to. We need you. That's really like a park game. You know, hey, don't get in foul trouble. We need you. We're limited. For manpower.
And I think the recipe for winning this game, if you're Baruch, is continue to defend. You're holding right now Lehman to 35%. Continue giving the ball to Arias, where she only has 1 turnover out of the team's 20. Whereas, you know, some of your other ball handlers, Ahmed, Spyu, Barrett, all have 4 or more turnovers. So you got to keep the ball in, I think, Arias' hands. And lastly, I think you have to move away from the 3 and really get inside. Only shooting right now 1 of 8 for 3, but you're shooting 13 of 29, 44.8%. From the field.
To your point, we want to make a little football analogy. Baruch is at its best when they see an opening. And like a running back, you know, you run into the secondary. That could be Spyu, that could be Ahmed, that could be Arias, that could be Barrett. As soon as they see the opening, put the ball down, go to the basket, and try and get to the foul line. As a secondary option, shoot the ball.
Also, I think you have to limit Lehman's offensive rebounds. 9 in the first half, and just give him extra possessions. Looking at this alone, Lehman had 40 field goal attempts in the first half to Baruch's 29.
Yeah, and that's the quick remedy for your point, Dave. It's just as soon as the shot goes up, locate a player, box out. Things that really aren't in today's game used to be very big, you know, on the fundamental list in practice and in games, where boxing out was really an art. And teams prided themselves on being great rebounding teams. How do you do rebounding? You know, you can't look up at the basket and, you know, like you're looking at an airplane or a kite. You really have to look at the player, seal them Paul Silas, those basketball historians out there, or even Dennis Rodman, who, by the way, used to hold on to jerseys so you couldn't go up. But those players, comical or not, really it was an art to rebound. And rebounding is huge, and it's in any sport. If you rebound and you play defense, it's going to dictate to good things on offense. So Baruch wants to be a team that does the right thing on defense and let that carry over to offense.
And it seems to be like a tale of two locker rooms. You have to assume Coach Harrison telling his team we have to, slow them down on defense, especially the way Baruch has had the hot finish to the first half. Whereas if you're Coach Kellyanne Barrett, you have to be telling your team to do what they were doing at the end of the second quarter, playing top-notch defense and finding ways to hit shots.
Play top-notch defense. Don't give, and we're going to keep saying, don't give away gifts. And on offense, let's because the Super Bowl is this weekend, let's run for glory. As soon as you see an opening, put your head down and see you in the secondary.
And we're about 20 seconds away from the start of the second half. Don't forget to stay tuned. After this game, we have the men's game. Lehman College Lightning against Baruch, a big matchup where Lehman right now currently number 1 in the standings at 11-1 in the conference, and Baruch 8-3 in the conference in third. But the big story about the Bearcats, a 6-game win streak coming into tonight's game.
Oh, wow. That basketball game tonight, must-see TV here in the New York area.
I talked to men's assistant coach Jimmy Barrett before the game, and he understands. I mean, the importance of this game was, stressed mightily, understanding that you're playing the number 1 team in the conference. You're on a 6-game win streak, so you basically have two, the hottest team versus the best team right now. And Lehman, 16-4 overall, 11-1 in the division, also on a win streak of their own.
I'm sure Coach Alisi has his troops really up for this game.
I mean, if you have to, as Shannon Barrett misses a corner 3, but back to your point, Joe, I mean, at this point of the season when you're getting into the late stretch of things and everything's really up for grabs, if you're not up for these type of games already, you have really no business in playing, sports at any level, because this is what you kind of play for. Playing the better teams at home with an opportunity to move yourself up in the conference.
Yeah, really quickly to your point, what the big help is Coach Alisi went through this as a CUNY player, Baruch, so he experienced all of what he's telling his players about where you're at. And also he played big-time high school ball as a Varian High School in Brooklyn. So Coach Alisi has been in basketball for many years on a big-time level in the New York area.
The foul's going to be on number 15, Melinda Spayu, already one foul away from being fouled out. And Spayu has to quickly come to the bench, only 41 seconds here into the second half.
Coach Barrett's very upset that she picked up a foul early on.
That was definitely something she stressed in the locker room at halftime, as Lopez has it now inside. Free throw line jumper, able to knock it down, as Barrett was a little step late to close out.
Yeah, Baruch can't let Lopez, who looks like a skilled post player, get going.
Pass now into the front court to Shannon Barrett, gives it back to Arias. Ball swung around, now into Marian Thopoulos in the corner. Her jumper, oh, no good. Bounced off both sides of the rim and out. Now Fields has it, gives it off to Behagan. Behagan's jumper able to knock it down.
Well, we talked about how you come out in the second half. Right now, the ball literally bouncing for Lehman.
Now Ahmed has it right wing. Working on Lopez. Crossover move. Now back up to Arias. Now to Shannon Barrett. Shannon Barrett's going to drive. Pull up jumper off glass. No good. And that's going to be rebounded by Lehman, and they're going to quickly push into the front court with Fields. Nice crossover move on Arias. Off glass. No good. Rebounded there by Barrett. Rolls off right rim was Fields' shot.
Yeah, Baruch got lucky because that could have been a 6-0 run.
Baruch trail right now by 8. 2 minutes here into the half. Now ball gets swung around. It's going to be Ahmed in the corner. Rebound, no, off right rim, and rebounded by Dorsett here into the front court. Gives it up to Fields. Up top to Behagan, and Behagan will set up the offense. And the foul is going to be on number 25, Maria Marian Thopoulos. And every time we have a foul now, Joe, we got to really look at who's going to be called on with all the foul trouble that Baruch's in right now.
Well, the play was just a problem for Baruch to begin with. First, Lopez got the ball in a great position and then made a move, but made a move where people were moving instead of staying and defending.
And Baruch's going to call timeout. Coach Barrett wants to talk things over early here in the second half. So 7:43 remaining. Baruch trailing by 9 as Lehman have started on a 5-0 run, 39-30. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And not the start, Joe, that Baruch wanted here in the second half, letting up a quick 5-0 run to start things off.
No, questionable shot selection by the Bearcats. And on offense, letting Lopez kind of do stuff. You have to deny her the ball. She looks like an impact player for Lehman. And right now, a lead brewing and a momentum brewing for Lehman.
Just checking a wet spot here as Lopez goes to the line and able to knock it down. Nice play there by Lopez to hit her free throws as now Barrett gets trapped into the corner. And that's going to go off Barrett last, as the refs have to come together to make the call. 40-30, Baruch trail.
Yeah, that's a 6th turnover for Shannon Barrett.
Ball swung around, corner, wing 3, bouncing around and in. And it looked like it might have grazed the stanchion there. But to no avail, and the pass to Ahmed is no good. And it's another unforced error by Baruch, and Baruch can dig themselves back into this hole if they're not too careful. Rebound fought for. And it's going to go off Lissette the board last as she battles for the rebound with Dorsett, and it's going to stay with Lehman underneath.
I think Lehman had a very powerful energy drink in the locker room because they've come out with a different energy level and they've got their foot on the gas pedal.
Fields right wing 3, air ball, and Shannon Barrett comes away with it. And yeah, Joe, I got to agree that, or they definitely kind of reset themselves, similar to like the first quarter when they came out very strong. As Barrett's shot's no good, it's going to be Arias and Dorsett on the floor fighting over the ball. And very interesting, Spayu back into the game, only 3 minutes past, working with 4 fouls.
Well, I think you need, at this point, a little bit of a desperation situation. You're going to need all your key players on the floor now because you have not scored yet in the second half.
But also you're kind of handcuffing yourself because if she does foul out, you're going to be in a little bit more of a problem then. And the foul there is going to be on number 31, Shannon Barrett. That's her 4th. And that was the worst thing you want to see is Spayu and Barrett both with, in foul trouble, both the defenders in on the play.
Yeah, once again, the ball got in deep, and there was a sense of desperation by Barrett. The worst was over. All she can do is really look. You have to, one of the things that Baruch has to get better as we go forward is denying the ball to an interior player.
And Fields knocks down both free throws as that will now extend the lead to 15 with 6:40 remaining here in the third. A quick 11-0 run for Lehman.
Yeah, Lehman hasn't come out, in gangbusters, Dave. They've just come out. They're playing with a little more energy.
And Shannon Barrett's 3 is blocked by Dorsett, who's able to save the ball, but the full court pass up ahead for Lehman, very dangerous as Fields is able to corral it and set up the offense. Cross court pass to Fields. Behagen looking for Fields, and she finds her. Behagen now up top, inside to Lopez, back outside to Fields. Fields thinks about shooting. Instead, it's going to be a 3-second violation on Selena Lopez, and it'll go back to Baruch.
Okay, so Baruch was in their defensive positions and allowed for a turnover by Lehman.
And Spayu able to get in the front court. She's going to drive. Nice finish with the right hand. Able to do a backhand layup and finish at the rim.
Okay, so Baruch is on the board. So now you can't get it back. It's only one possession at a time. Get back in this game.
But right now you're handcuffing yourself a little bit defensively with some of the foul trouble that both Barrett and Spayu are in. As right there we see Barrett has to step away and not foul. And once again there against Dorsett. Can't really create any, initiate any contact or she's going to be gone from this game.
Well, what happened once again is Lehman was too deep, and Baruch can only stand and watch.
Ahmed, baseline jumper, knocks it down. Nice shot there by Samira Ahmed, 47-34, 13-point game.
So you have Spayu and Ahmed making baskets after going scoreless.
Now Behagan has it now. She goes into the lane. And it's off, and Samira Ahmed comes away with it as Behagan tries to save it. And that's going to be a travel as Ahmed, another unforced turnover. That's Ahmed's fifth turnover of the game to go along with her 8 points.
Yeah, she's had a tough game psychologically, but, you know, the thing is it's still early in the second half, and in some games she's got it together in the second half.
Now Fields has it up top, gives it inside to Garcia. Her ball is stripped. As Spayu hits the deck, and has to be very careful not to foul as Behagan comes away with it.
Yeah, Spayu plays so hard, it's unfortunate that when she gets a foul.
A nice play there as Behagan's able to lay it in. Nice find there by Fields.
Defensive breakdowns.
Now Spayu has it left wing, gives it up top to Arias. Arias is three, able to see that one fall. 47-37.
One of your key players making a big play.
The ball swung back and forth as Fields has it now, covered by Papadopoulos. Comes underneath, gives it to Garcia. Garcia's going to drive, trying to find Dorsett underneath. Outside to Fields, able to drain that one from the right wing. And the full court press by Lehman, once again giving Baruch some fits. Almost tipped away there. The board has it. No good. Rebounded by Shannon Barrett, able to finish with the left hand at the rim.
Okay, both teams basically playing basketball now.
Now Fields has it. Gives it off to Garcia, right wing. Gives it cross court to Fields. Now Behagan has it, and she takes too many steps before she puts the ball on the floor. We've seen that a couple times so far by Lehman here in the early going of the second half.
Yeah. So Baruch, let's see if they could creep back into it here.
And Arias getting picked up, and that she throws the ball away right into the hands of Fields. Once again, the full court press giving Baruch some fits here. Arias into Papadopoulos, now back to Arias, now inside to Spayu. And she's fouled from behind by Garcia, and she'll go to the line to shoot two, and an opportunity once again to cut it to 13.
Credit Daniela Arias with looking, her eyes down court, and found an open teammate. When you look down court, you can break that press.
And Spayu knocks down the first, 54-40, 3:17 remaining here in the third. And Baruch kind of running out, has to be careful and try to cut back in this deficit before they, stretch the game to the point where they're not going to have enough time to make the comeback.
Yeah, it's a game of runs. It's taken them a while to get back into it, but again, hopefully, they're finding a recipe now that they didn't have earlier in the beginning of the second half.
Now Fields into the paint, gets double teamed. She kicks it back out to Fields, swung around to Garcia. Ball's tipped around, and it's going to stay with Lehman. Nice play there by DeBoard to get her hands in and almost force that turnover.
Yeah, DeBoard, that's what she does for you, the plays that don't show up in the scoreboard.
Now 8 seconds left on the shot clock as the pass to Fields gets tipped away by Arias. Now Garcia has it. She's covered by Spayu. Now inside to Lopez, and it's going to go off Lehman last. I think it was Lopez or Dorsett. Both were there. Neither can come with the pass. And Behagan checking back into the game for Garcia. Oh, excuse me, for Lopez.
The board was in that little situation there, and she helped to deflect that off a Lehman player.
Now Spayu gets the ball. She's at half court, drives right into the lane, gives it off to the board, too strong. But now Spayu gets the rebound, can't finish. Rebound loose, fought for, and Lehman come away with it. And the dangerous pass there by Fields.
Once again, Dave, Baruch, a golden opportunity, couldn't finish. That would have cut this deficit even more.
So that with 2:30 remaining, I think Lehman's going to take a timeout. Baruch 41, Lehman 54, trailing by 13 here at the Arc Arena. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance. A monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
And welcome back to the Arc Arena as Baruch have the ball on the backcourt. It's going to be Arias. Ball swung around, now Barrett left wing, jumper. No good off front rim, rebound fought for, and it comes down. Dorsett has it. Spy, you have to be careful not to foul.
Yeah, I would go to the basket if I was Shannon Barrett instead of settling for the outside jumper.
Garcia has it now right wing. Gives it over to Fields. Fields three, way long and no good, but it comes right to Garcia. Garcia pull-up jumper. Can't hit, and Arias comes away with the rebound for Baruch. Up top to Barrett. Barrett going to drive, give inside to Papadopoulos. Back to Barrett, a little short on the baseline jumper, and Lehman will push the other way with Fields. And Coach Harrison wants Lehman to slow it up. Ball swung around up top. Gives it to Dorsett, now to Fields, back up to Garcia. Outside to Fields, pull-up jumper, no good. A little rebound long again. And the foul is going to be on Lissette DeBoard as Fields hits the deck.
Yeah, DeBoard didn't see Fields, so she couldn't locate her and box her out. Fields got a easy rebound.
And interesting right there, it gives them a fresh 30, where I think Lehman would have been pretty low in the shot clock due to the air ball. Fields to inbound for Lehman, gives it into Garcia. Garcia drives against Spayu, careful not to foul, and able to knock down the floater. Been pretty impressed so far here and tonight by Lily Beth Garcia.
Yeah, once a player gets in the lane like that and has an uncontested shot, that's a high percentage shot.
Nice find there by Spayu to get to Barrett, and Barrett off on the first, but able to drain the second off glass. Minute left, Baruch trail by 13. Garcia up top to Fields. Fields to Lopez. Lopez at the free throw line. Turns on Barrett. Instead gives it out to Garcia. Now Behagan has it now. Left wing jumper. No good. DeBoard comes away with the rebound, and Barrett's going to push it to the front court with 40 seconds left here on the game clock.
DeBoard, good positioning. Located the player and got the rebound.
A nice play there by Lissette DeBoard to come away with that rebound and fight it away underneath, and something Coach Barrett talked to her specifically about at the end of the first half, you know, fighting for those rebounds.
Yeah, she does that very well. An unsung hero, if you will, for Baruch.
It'll be Baruch's ball underneath with Barrett to inbound. Gives it inside to Spayu, and Arias will get it up top. Arias will drive. She gets fouled as she drives, and she'll go to the line, and a chance to cut this lead back to 11. So Baruch playing some quality basketball here in the last minute or two of the third quarter.
Yeah, they're going to need Arias to make plays. Barrett hasn't had her shot falling, and hopefully that'll change in the fourth quarter.
Arias knocks down the first, having a quality night from the line. And Dorsett comes off for Lehman as Lopez will check back into the game, excuse me. Now Fields, handoff to Fields, and Fields will set it up with 16 seconds left here in the game clock. Third quarter, 56-44, Baruch are trailing. After being down by 4, now trail by 12. Gives it out to Garcia. Garcia going to drive. Her pull-up jumper around and out. But Lopez able to use her body and size to get the rebound over Barrett. Also Barrett careful not to foul, but Lopez's shot's no good, so that'll do it for the third. So Baruch trail 56-44, down by 12 here at the Arc Arena. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
And welcome back. Currently Baruch down by 12, 56-44 here at the Arc Arena. Trailing against Lehman College, currently the 4 seed in the playoff. Baruch holding on to that number 6 spot, but looking back as York only a game and a half behind. So Joe, a big opportunity here. You know, got to cut the deficit early because of the fact that Lehman have been scoring and been able to find their way to the basket.
Yeah, Baruch has to try and match the energy that Lehman exhibited in that third quarter. And, you know, anything is possible here. It's just a couple of runs that Baruch needs to try and put together.
Nice play out of the board to get the rebound, but Ahmed loses the ball again, and Garcia comes away with it. And Baruch only shooting 27% from the field in the second half after in the third quarter after a respectable 45% in the first half. And nice find there by Fields as she's able to make that jumper drop.
Yeah, Fields, like Arias, likes to take one dribble to free herself in the paint.
Ahmed gives it inside to Spayu. Nice move there off glass. Melinda Spayu brings the lead back to 12 with 9 minutes remaining here in the game.
It's nice to see Spayu finish.
The ball, a couple cross-court passes by Lehman. Finds Lopez inside and able to hit a jumper just inside the free throw line.
Yeah, no defensive opposition by Baruch, letting Lopez get a great look at the basket from in close.
Corner three there by Ahmed's no good. Spayu on the rebound. And she gets fouled and will go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, no defense on Spayu on the other end. No defense by Lehman. Spayu in great position to get an offensive rebound.
And Behagen is going to be called for the foul. That's her third. Ayana Behagen and Shannon Barrett both with 14 tonight. Shannon Barrett taking 17 shots, though, to get to that 14 points.
Yeah, shots just didn't drop for her tonight. For Baruch fans, really look forward to the career of ahead for Melinda Spayu, a freshman. Boy, she's really come together here as a complete player for the Bearcats.
So Lopez finds Behagen inside. Behagen spins around, no good, and the foul there is on the board. And that'll send Behagen to the line to shoot 2.
Wow, real active move by Behagen to spin around and free herself for a look at the basket.
Behagen knocks down the first, extends the lead to 14.
Lehman Fields, play on words, a number of really good offensive players, skilled.
Now Spayu gets it in the front court from Barrett as they break down the press. Barrett going strong, but Lopez blocks her.
Good defense by Lopez in close. Barrett was on her way to the basket.
Barrett wanted a call there, saying to the ref that she got hit in the head, but no call, and the play continues. Lehman's three by Fields, no good. Lopez comes away with the rebound, but she steps on the baseline, and it'll go back to Baruch. Another turnover there for Lehman. Now, what is now a combined 42 turnovers between these two teams tonight.
Yeah, it's been a gift-giving evening tonight.
Arias has it up top, crossover, gives it off to Ahmed, back to Arias. Arias thinks about shooting, instead gives it to Board on the baseline. And a nice jumper there on the block by Melinda Spayu as Arias able to find her inside so
Boy,
she can go to work.
Did you see how quick Arias got the ball inside to Spayu?
And then on the other end, Garcia able to come back right there with a three and extend the lead back to 16.
Garcia looks like a very talented player.
Bounce pass inside to DeBoer. Nice move there by Spayu, able to drive baseline. Give it to DeBoer, who could finish at the rim.
Okay, so Baruch is showing some life here. Needs some stops.
Fields has a right wing three, able to drain that one. And that'll push it to 17 with 6.5 remaining. And you got to think that maybe this lead might be becoming a little bit insurmountable.
Lehman has found a way to answer some runs that Baruch tried to go on.
And Lopez comes away with that rebound. Fields into the front court. Ooh, but Hagan intercepts the pass that was intended for Garcia, and she travels. Hagan probably should have held on to that one. And it's going to be a sub. It'll be Dorsett coming into the game as Lopez comes to the bench.
Yeah, Melinda Spayu looks like she might need a breather, but, you know, that she plays so hard. Again, only a freshman.
And now Barrett's fouled by number 13, Lisa Fields. Now Barrett's inbound right in front of the announce table. Arias has it, and Baruch will have an opportunity to set up their offense, trailing by 17, 6:05 remaining here in the game. Now the board inside to Barrett, no good.
Barrett's got to make that shot. She's right there. Or at least get a foul call.
Garcia hands off to Fields, who will set up the offense. Now Garcia right wing. Inside to Behagan, back outside the Fields. Garcia now right wing three. Ooh, air ball there. A nice save there by Linda Fields. And running out of time on the shot clock. Fields left wing three, no good. Hits rim though. Barrett comes away with the rebound, and she's going to push into the front court. Gives it off to Spayu, who gets fouled, and she'll go to the line to shoot two. And I think she wanted an N1 opportunity there. Very close to hitting on the double clutch.
Yeah, when Spayu's at her best offensively, it's that fake, and she gets to the basket, but she's just got to make that shot. She gets in so close.
And Spayu good on the first, 68-52. And she's off on the second as Dorsett comes away with the rebound. Fields has it in the front court, almost tipped away there. Nice hustle play there by Ahmed, and able to force the turnover for Lehman.
Good play by Ahmed, who has not had any type of game tonight. But, you know, again, you're going to have nights like this, and you have to try and contribute somehow.
The ball moving around the offensive zone. That is until DeBoer throws it away right into the hands of Behagan. She's going to think about going coast to coast until she curls back, and Fields will set up the offense. Garcia up top, over to Fields, who takes Garcia's place. Inside to Dorsett, and she's able to finish, and that's going to force Coach Barrett to call another timeout. So Baruch really letting this one slip away. Now down 18, 70-52. You're watching Baruch basketball live from the Arc Arena on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats, and not really the start you wanted them to see in the beginning here of the fourth quarter for Baruch.
No. Lehman has just fallen into a good mode, and they're making shots, and they're getting shots that they want, inside, outside, and it's all come together for them after kind of a suspect first couple of quarters, a lot of turnovers, but this is a solid attack by Lehman. Offensively, Baruch missing shots and allowing Lehman to come back and do things on offense. And look at the contributions, Dave, from Lehman. If you see the final stat sheet, you're going to see a lot of different people collaborating for the attack for Lehman today.
Yeah, currently only 2 scorers in double digits for Lehman, 2 for Baruch, with Behagan and Shannon Barrett both leading the way here in this matchup, as now Baruch, trying to preserve time, will roll it into the front court as Arias has it there. Now Ahmed gets it, gives it inside to Spayu, bounce pass inside to Barrett, nice couple passes there. And Baruch needs to play defense now as it's 70-54.
Great teamwork by the Bearcats, 3 passes to an open teammate.
Garcia has it now, looking for options. Arias closing out on Behagan. Finds the backdoor cutter in field. Nice play there by Garcia, as Ahmed looked like she was sleeping a little bit on defense.
Yeah, Ahmed turned her back, and nobody was there. Easy basket for Lehman.
Ooh, and a jumper there by Baruch. Off front rim, no good. Lehman quick to push, though. A nice move there as it's Fields to Garcia to Dorsett for the layup, and it's a 20-point game here now.
For Lehman, you couldn't have done that any better.
And Arias, another turnover there to Garcia. Gives it off to Behagan. Over to Fields, is able to finish, and it's just one person back on D, and you have to wonder where the hustle is.
You know what, Dave? It's like Lehman was pasta boiling in the first half, and in the second half, the pasta was ready, and they came out, and they are playing like a very polished team.
So with 3:36 left, Baruch trailing by 22 here at the Arc Arena. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And you know, Joe, we always try to take, some positive. You always say there's some positives you can take out of losses, but tonight has been one of those losses where Baruch has really, really beaten themselves.
Yeah, I want to just point to something. Defensively, if you look at this game tape, you'll see that there were just a lot of openings defensively that allowed Lehman to take advantage of. If you go into practice with Coach Barrett, work on defensive fundamentals and not asking them to turn into, defensive wizards, but just the basics.
And the thing I've noticed, Joe, is they don't have a lot of players that could play multiple positions. You look at maybe, except for maybe Barrett, who granted it has to play center just because of her height on the team, but could probably play a handful of positions if Baruch had other players around her. Spayu can play a few positions, but outside of that, you're talking about the board. Ahmed really stuck to that 3-4 position and probably undersized at that rate.
But when Baruch is at its best defensively, you have Arias and Spayu up top, 4 hands, 4 feet, moving constantly. And when they're also at their best, the interior puts up a fence.
Do you think maybe that lack of I wouldn't say more well-rounded players because that's not the term, but just more versatile players?
No, I just think it's a mindset. It's
okay.
A mindset that you have to get into and buy into as a recipe for success.
Fields, nice move there, able to get inside and give it off there to Dorsett, who's able to finish with the left hand, and this Baruch this Baruch deficit just increasing by the moment.
Yeah, by the way, here in New York, we were really By the way, here in New York, talk about committing to defense. Pat Riley, when he came to New York and had the Knicks in a championship position, it was all commitment to defense, and the offense would come.
Nice play there by Spayu, going coast to coast on the steal. Having a monster game on the defensive end. Currently, that was her 4th steal of the evening. to go along with 14 points and 4 rebounds, excuse me. So having a nice all-around game as Fields will inbound the ball right in front of the scorer's table here. Gives it to Behagan, and Spayu picks up Behagan. Lopez up top, giving off to Fields, and the crowd has grown quiet here, probably knowing that maybe this game is probably winding down here, and Lehman probably going to leave the building tonight with a W.
Yeah, Baruch just let Lehman just get going. And any sport, any game, once you let a team find themselves, it could be trouble. But what we really want to look at, these are situations that Baruch has to take away and just stop, take a deep breath, and look forward to the next game. You have to have a short memory in this game.
And also when you're Lehman and you're plus 10 in the scoring department in the fourth quarter, that's going to help you get a lot of W's when you're looking at some, regardless of the opposition is.
Yeah, Baruch just has to come in and have a real good practice and, you know, just look back and say that they were in the game and what happened that took them out of the game. And it all starts with defense, what you didn't do on defense, and offensively, questionable shot selection by the Bearcats.
So a minute and 37 remaining. Baruch trailing by 22. And a turnover there by Spayu, and at this point just going through the motions here if you're Baruch trying to get out of here. Foul there is on Arias, and that'll send Fields to the line to shoot 2. And she was quickly pushing the ball.
Yeah, Dave, I've seen so many turnovers. I'm going to have an apple turnover and a hot chocolate later on tonight.
And number 30 checking into the game, Chima for Lehman. As Fields knocks down the first. And Fields' second free throw attempt. Also able to rattle it home, so Fields will come into the game.
80 points, Dave, is a lot of points in any game. You have to really look at defense very seriously if you're Coach Barrett and find a remedy for it very quickly.
Just letting up 46 points in the second half is Baruch, and that's never going to be a winning formula, not even just tonight.
But it was how Lehman got going. They just, anything that Lehman wanted to do, they executed. Driving to the basket, outside shooting, inside shooting.
And Arias was fouled there, so she'll go to the line to shoot. Oh, 2, excuse me. And a couple of subs here is Jacqueline Thamakun, Emma Price, Lisette DeBoard, and Maria Marianthopoulos all into the game as Papadopoulos looks on, waiting for Arias to shoot the second free throw, trying to check in, but Arias off on that, and it's a 23-point lead for Lehman now.
Dave, I mean, Baruch coming in was giving up 65.9 points a game, so something definitely went wrong in this game.
And the foul there is going to be on number 34, Lisette DeBoard. That's her fourth. And that's going to send, no, excuse me, that's going to be the fourth team foul, so the ball will be out underneath.
But the board, you know, her fouls are a byproduct of her hustle because she's an energy player.
Now Garcia has it up top, working on Thamakun. And Fields receives the passes. Papadopoulos is on her, and you can see Lehman kind of just going through the motions here with 40 seconds left. Going to win in a blowout fashion after what was a very close game at half with Baruch only trailing by 4.
Yeah, Lehman's got to feel really good about themselves because they got it together. Baruch just, couldn't stop the leaking once it started.
And Baruch almost getting caught on the 10-second violation as there's a turnover there by Marianthopoulos. Pass intended for Price. And Baruch will just run out the clock. Nice hustle play there by Price, trying to get the most of her minutes. She tips it out of bounds, but with 4.5 seconds left, this should be the final score. Lehman 80, Baruch 57. Coach Harrison frustrated at half, granted, but has to be cutting a happier figure now with his team winning by 23.
Yeah, Dave, if I was Shannon Barrett, I would have a players-only meeting and just talk to the players about not letting this game really dictate the rest of the season that's ahead. This is a game that, you really don't feel good about. I see some of the body language of the Baruch players. They really look down and upset, but, there's lots of basketball left to play. And this is where your leadership comes in. And you're going to have nights like tonight. That's why having a real good practice is essential to winning programs. And good coaches really can correct mistakes very quickly. I don't want to say tonight was a mistake, but it was a night where mental and physical didn't click, whereas for Lehman, mental and physical click, particularly in the second half, and that's really the difference in the outcome of the game.
And very interesting, Joe, 6 players, pretty much everyone but Chima on the Lehman College team, and Chima only played, a handful of minutes in both the first and second half. All 6 of them in double figures tonight.
Yeah, that's why I said I think a good way to summarize the second half was the fact that it all came into play for Lehman. They had a kind of sputtering first half, but they do have talent, Lehman. Let's face it. They have at least 5 or 6 players that you can see in their fundamentals, the way they shoot jump shots, the way they, of course, Lopez with that spin move. So there's definite talent. Now, what Baruch has to really pay attention to first and foremost is their defensive attack. They have to really get back to the fundamentals of defense. You gave up 80 points, but that's not the story. It's how you gave it up. You fell asleep on defense. You didn't go to your formula of hands and feet moving areas to spy you up top. And whenever Baruch gets into trouble defensively, it's when their interior becomes a fence and instead of a wall. So that's my really summary where we go from here. Really lock up. Dave, the offense is there for Baruch, especially when Spayu, Ahmed, and Arias are on their game or able to pick each other up. But remember, defense stops runs and allows you to start doing things.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to score, but any time you turn the ball over 30 times in a 40-minute game, you're not going to win a lot of games. And on top of that, you would think that if you forced the 21 turnovers that they did force, that they would be getting a W tonight. And it's just the recipe for disaster when you're hurting yourself this badly and, you just can't get out of your own way.
Right. You're forcing yourself to play a near-perfect second half. So, yeah, they dug themselves some holes, but I really look at it and I see it really was the defense that got Baruch, or lack of. Now, I want to just point out something key to the viewers at home. The turnovers were byproducts of frustration by Baruch, and that frustration stemmed from defensive lapses that happened. So if you start to connect the dots, I think a lot of the turnovers was frustration. I saw it in the eyes of the Baruch players and the body language.
But how impressive was that full court trap by Lehman College, forcing, like we said, 15 turnovers in the first quarter, and pretty much relentless all evening, giving Baruch fits on the offensive end.
Sure, the frustration of Baruch, and then Coach Harrison having that full court press. those were ingredients that could really take Baruch out of the game, and it did.
So they're back. They're back here next week, Brooklyn College. Before then, I mean, the message from Coach Barrett has to be just get out of your own way, because Baruch hurt themselves more than any other player on Lehman did tonight.
Yeah, when you turn the ball over, even in football, if you have 4 or 5 turnovers, look to see that that's irreparably lost. Basketball, baseball, when you make a lot of errors, there's a lot of parallels in sports. But at this point, no point pointing fingers. The leadership should have, like I said, a players-only meeting and say, listen, tonight wasn't our night, but let's wake up in the morning and really do it the Baruch way. And there's a lot of tradition here, a lot of winning. And, hey, you know what? With tomorrow brings promise. Anything can happen. So you got to stay in the positive. The negative doesn't help any.
So that's going to do it for the first game of our doubleheader. Once again, your final score, Lehman 80, Baruch 57. Stay tuned. We'll be back in approximately 10-15 minutes to give you our pregame for the second half of our doubleheader. The men will play against Lehman College as well. Lehman College coming in as the best team in the conference. Baruch on a 6-game win streak. What a matchup we have for you. We'll be back soon here at the Arc Arena. For Joe Stolzer, I'm Dave Just. See you soon.